There is nothing more satisfying than getting a really chunky piece of wax out of somebody's ear in one piece, and this was a chunky bit of wax. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, I'm going to let you watch this one. But really lovely gent. It's actually my patient that came to me, get rid of the mouse, for clinic. He actually watches the YouTube channel as well. And when I took the wax out, he did say, that's a viral video, that one. So when we look at it now, you can see very, very mushy wax here at the entrance to the canal. The mushy wax is there because, if you're new to the channel, it's because the patient, we recommend always use a little bit of olive oil before they come along to clinic. Just softens the surface of the wax, makes it a little bit easier for us to get out. But we've got basically some lovely chunky plugs in this one. I've actually got two patients. I think it's myself and Taylor is the other audiologist on the second video. But you can see a little bit of dry skin here. What I'm looking for is that, see that peachy colour underneath, that lovely pinky colour? That shows me that I'm down at the canal wall. Now, when you get wax like this, which has gone very soft and very mushy, we use the canal wall as markers to know how deep we are inside the canal, especially when you lose a little bit of depth with using an endoscope. So you tend to use markers a lot. Now, what happens when you can't see the ear canal is every ear canal has two bends inside, so it's like a slight S shape. And you need to know where those bends are, because the last thing you want to do is to push a tool up against a bend in the canal so you didn't know it was there. So I'm just tidying up the entrance to the canal here, just trying to detach all these sticky pieces from around the outside edge, just so I can get these good kind of geographical pointers inside this ear canal. Let's see if we can lift this off. There we go, it's getting there. Oh, it's almost pulling away. And what I want to do, oh, there we go. There, that's what I'm looking for, is that little bit of movement. I just want to be able to see that plug just starting to come down. That shows me I've detached it from the canal wall. Now it's just a case of getting this out. I always really, really tried to get these in one piece. Look at that coming away. Now I've actually had to shift the camera angle here to be able to pull around that bend. So we said these bends come up, but look at the size of that wax plug. That is a chunky plug. We will show you the full size of those at the end of the video. We'll put them on a ruler for you so you can measure them all up and you can see exactly what they're like. So we will do that in a second, but it's just a little bit of tidying up now, but I can see the eardrum really, really clearly, and patient hearing so much better, just like that. So this is the same patient, other ear canal now. Very similar story here. You can see a very mushy entrance there. Let's try and get, oh, there we are, a little bit of a wiggle. I think patients talking to me at this point. I do tend to chat to the patients just to make them feel a little bit more at ease when we're doing this. I'll ask questions and they'll chat to me. Makes it difficult sometimes because you'll find that the ear canal will change shape with jaw movement, so it will do this a little bit. So if I'm really concentrating on something, or I've got a particularly difficult one, I do tend to go a bit quieter then, just so I can make sure I can get everything I need to out. Got that plug moving again. Here it comes again. Try to negotiate that very outer bend of the ear canal. A little bit more of a wiggle. Really trying to move this. You can see it now when it's difficult like this and it's kind of moving but not really going to get much forward momentum to it. I always know that this is going to be a good plug to come away, especially if I can try and keep it as one piece. So I'm going to use the suction now just to maneuver the front end of this wax into where it needs to be. The reason it's moving around a little bit is because I'm not actually, I'm standing away from the patient's head at this point. So I've got my little pinky extended, but it's not making contact with the patient's head at this point. So I'm just off slightly. But if they did move, obviously the pinky would come into contact and we'd move around. I've shifted camera position and I'm trying to get this with a bit of suction, but it just does not want to budge. It's really kind of anchored in there. So we're going to bring the right keratin now. We're going to drop over the top. And this is great because you use this forward kind of scooping motion. But look at that plug. That's a good one, isn't it? Look at the size of that. It's a nice, chunky, girthy plug, if you like. But it's coming away really, really well. So I'm just going to tidy up this front entrance of the ear canal here, and then I promise I will show you this on the ruler shot coming up in a couple of seconds. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. There we go, eardrum looking really, really good. Oh, I've spotted something else. It just needs a little bit of a tidy. I think it's just a little bit here at the top. There we go, just a quick once over there as well. But lovely light reflex. That is the size of the plug. So the plug on the left is the second plug removed. So that's 1.5 centimeters. That's 3/4 of an inch. Believe it or not, I've got out bigger plugs than that. I will put a link to them at the end of the video as well for you to make sure you check that one out as well, because there was one that was bigger again, I think. Well, I'll fill you in a bit later on about that one. So this is actually Taylor's patient here. A very similar story here. Taylor's got a really, really chunky plug in here as well. So he's managed to lift it. Now, he got his plug moving just a little bit quicker. There wasn't as much of that mushy waxer on the entrance. There wasn't as much dry skin. So it had detached much quicker. But what you get sometimes, it's the size or the length of the plug that can cause a problem, especially, remember I said it was this elongated S shape? Well, if it's formed into that S shape, as you're, excuse me, I'm so sorry, as you're pulling from the front, that back end is kind of hooked around the corner and it's not going to come away as easily. But he has managed to pull it forwards just ever so slightly. So this is the rye hook in here now. Great for harder plugs. God, I think this is going to be a long one. You can see he's slowly working his way down the plug to try and get the back end of it somewhere. That is a dry plug. I would imagine this patient probably hasn't used any olive oil in here. He's looking all the way, you can just see the end of it. He's trying to get a good grip, trying to push the rye hook into the plug to try and get a good grip. But I did just see there was a gap right at the back end. So what he's going to do now is try and drop the rye hook much further back and hook it behind the back end of the plug and pull this forwards. I would be really interested in how big this plug is. I'd be interested to know if he's got me beat. Let's see if we can pull this forwards. Oh, is it going to stay together? Don't break. Is it going to stay together? I think that might break. Ah, no, he's got it. Wow, that is a plug and a half. That is a plug and a half. A little bit of dry skin attached to it as well. You can tell that because the wax was really dry. The canal wall then is really dry as a consequence. So there's just not enough oil being produced. That patient definitely needs to use some oil on a regular basis. Very similar here, you've got this lighter material, which can sometimes be an indication that there's a lot of keratin debris in here. You tend to find, because the wax is meant to pick up any dirt or debris, if you've got these sort of very fine keratin flakes that flake off the canal wall, they will all kind of bunch together, and that's what can give it this sort of slightly lighter appearance sometimes. But he's really pulling on this one. Broke a chunk away. He was trying to do a very similar thing to the last ear canal where he kind of moved it and manoeuvred it down the canal. I really want to see the size of that first plug, because that was a chunky, long plug as well. Yeah, we'll take a look at that ruler shot in a second. I'm intrigued. I think mine was a 3/4 of an inch, 1.5 centimeters. I want to know if he's got me beat on that one. Let's have a little look. So lots of dry skin surrounding this one. I think it would have come away as one big plug. You can see the length of that plug. That goes right the way down. But where you've got these flaps of dry skin that come off the side of the canal wall, it's just causing it to really sort of wrap around the plug and hold on to the plug to stop it from coming away. There we are, just trying to maneuver. You can see he's bending that plug from left to right to try and negotiate this very first bend inside the ear canal. But something is holding that in. I think he might have to switch to manual tools here. I think that's really holding that plug in. Not quite there. Oh, don't forget, guys, sorry I didn't do this earlier, but if you do enjoy the videos, you can always like, heart, share, follow and subscribe for me. If you thoroughly enjoy the videos, you can also consider becoming members of the channel. That way then you get to see new videos every single week. Don't forget to hit that bell so you get a notification every single time we post a new video. So, I don't know here. I don't know. I think this is all really kind of starting to crumble and break down. So as it's coming out of the canal, it's all sort of starting to break away, free up a little bit. Oh, there we go. A little bit of forward momentum. Is this the whole plug, or is this just part of the plug that's going to come away now? It's such a shame because it's super brittle at the front end. Not as long as I thought it was going to be, or is this still... No, I really thought that was going to be a much longer plug. So he's just doing a little bit of tidy up. So we're going to have the ruler off. Now let's see which one of us got the biggest plug out today. Let's get rid of that. Oh, just a little bit more tidying up to do. A little bit, you can see that dry sort of keratin layers there on the left-hand side of the canal. So Taylor's just peeling these away now, just getting rid of the last of this. Sometimes they can actually be quite thick layers that are stuck in this corner here. Gosh, that's still a fair sized bit, mind. And there's one more piece there. Is he going to go top and drop it down, or is he going to go side and lift it up, top and drop it down? Lovely. Oh, is there one more bit? I think there might be. Gosh, that keratin just kept going and going and going. So you can see now, if this was embedded in the outer surface of the wax plug, and then that's still attached to the canal wall, you can see why this was fighting that forward movement coming down. That's still quite a bit of skin, mind. And eardrum looking lovely. Come on then. What did he have? Oh, he had 1.5 centimeters. He's the same size as mine. I thought his was going to be slightly bigger. If you want to see an even bigger plug than that, on YouTube we've got one which was 1 inch long. It was a beastie of a plug to get out. I can never remember which side, but one of these two sides will have that. It's a really good one to watch. I think it's the biggest one we've ever taken out as a single plug, so go and check that one out for me as well. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and more importantly, take care of one another, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye, everybody.